Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much to my subscribers. Welcome newcomers. I hope you like what you see, and if so, be part of this journey by hitting that subscription button. The bell notification, very important to receive the notification for the new uploads. And I want to thank every single one of you that have been with me from the start and is embarking now on this journey with me. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I hope everybody's doing well. And as most of you that are subscribed already, you must have gotten notified on this granny square that I just uploaded yesterday. And I've been working on this blouse for this granny square. So we're going to start the tutorial on it. And I don't know if I might have to go through a video too, because, you know, my cell phone, this is what I record with, takes too much memory. And so sometimes I have to go to 2-3 videos. I apologize, but I don't have a choice for now, as I don't have a computer yet. Hopefully God will help me to get one. Pretty much I'm going to show you here. So I did sort of like an elastic waistband, and I will be doing the same thing on the wrists for the sleeves, which I don't know what sleeve I'm going to do yet. So I've gotten to the front or back part the same, it takes the same amount as squares. In my case, this is a full medium to a beginning large. If you want to go bigger, this is what's great about these granny squares, or if you make a circle tops, you can add them on as you'd like for the size desired. So in my case, I want a little bit of loosage. I don't want it to be stuck too much to the body. I'm not a big girl, but I'm not a small girl either, right? So let's say I'm a little bit husky. How's that? You know, that belly area, especially after having kids. You know, some of us are lucky not to have any belly. Some of us are a little bit unfortunate to have some, you know. But what's important here is not the belly part, as long as we're healthy and God is good. So amen to that. So I like to have a little bit more loosage. And so I've created, let's say front part, back part, doesn't matter because they're equal, the same size, like I said. The same amount of grannies in the front is the same thing in the back. In my case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 rows of 5 grannies. So I have diagonal 5 and length 5. And I've created the waistband, so you know, it stretches quite a bit, not much because it is thread, it's not an elastic, which I am using a 4-ply, which that means 4 strings. This is Portuguese 100% cotton thread. You can find it at Hobby Lobby's, not the same brand, obviously, because I'm in Europe. Unless you are in Portugal, then you can find this. But Hobby Lobby's, Michael's, Walmart, I know they have in size 3 cotton, because I did live in Canada and used to buy it at Walmart. Aunt Lydia number 3, which is a little bit thicker than this, so your blouse would be a little bit thicker. The good thing with the thickness is that the length or the size goes bigger automatically because the thread is thicker. So obviously your granny square will be bigger. This one has 12 centimeters across. Okay, that's how big it is, 12 centimeters. Okay, so what I did was I could have went and done the whole waistband all in one portion, but because I wanted to show you the different ways, you know, more comfortable that you can do. So you can do a front part or back part like this, or you can continue on the waistband, just measure your waist, and you can go ahead and do how big you like it. I have 30 rows of the waistband here. Okay, so they're 1 centimeters each one. So I have 30. And now I'm going to do 30 more for the back part. Now, you can do it separate and then stitch by hand the 2 sides, or in my case, I'm going to do it directly out of here. I don't have the patience to be stitching it on, but if you find it that you want to do it separate and then stitch it on, don't forget you will have to add the back part to the front part as you go on the squares. So the only thing you'd be stitching on would be the waistband if you're stitching both sides in. I'm not going to stitch on. I am going to continue from here and just add my thread here and continue my 30 rows, and then come back and show you how to do the first row of putting in the granny squares, which is not complicated. It's like skipping 1 or 2 rows and then skip 1 or 2 rows and add again, skip 1 or 2 rows and add, you know, and then of course the second granny square will be added on the same one, so we can have the equal amount on both sides the same way. Okay, so hook number 3, and I like to use a smaller one for tucking in loose ends and tie knots, because I knot all my pieces at the end. And of course a pair of scissors. I'm using, this is like a tan color, so very much like autumn. So because, you know, summer's almost up and autumn is coming along, so why not? And it's still sexy enough to wear it, right? And same thing with the brown. So we have so many different shades of brown. So I like this brown, and I've combined both of them together. But you can use one color only, or you can use a color of your preference. It's up to you. And we're going to get started. So like I said, we are just going to add from here on. As you can see, if you're doing 2 colors, what I did was I've done my middle part already. And now I'm just going to add the last row and keep attaching into my square. So I have a bunch of these patterns already, these motifs, I should say, already prepared. So I know automatically that I need 25 because I've already measured from the length and to the waist my squares. So I have 5 across and 5 in length. So I know that it's 25 squares that I need. So I prepared my squares already. And now I'm just going to add them on once I finish doing the front or back, whatever way, of the waistband. I'm going to continue from here to finish it and then add the other part together with the squares and the waistband. So another thing I wanted to mention before I forget. Okay, so if my video is too fast for you, because I tend to crochet fast, I know I'm terrible at that, but it's just a habit of so many years crocheting. If it's too fast for you, right up top, there's 3 little buttons on the right. Just click there and slow down the video to your liking. If the voice, because when you slow down the video, the voice also slows down too much. I do have caption, so you can turn on the caption and take the voice out if you don't want to hear that slow motion voice. I think it's so annoying, but anyway. I hope I'm not forgetting anything else. If I am, I will come back and mention it for sure, because that's just who I am. Okay, so we're going to get started, people. Thank you so much, everyone, again. Okay, so we're going to get started. Trying to move some of these things out of here. My space is so small, so bear with me. Okay, so I'm just going to add, since I did only one and had cut in my thread so I can work comfortably with these squares, I'm just going to continue now and adding on here. Now, as you can see, this is the back part. Okay, this is the front part, back part. So I know automatically I need to use the back, what do you call it? Loop. My goodness, sometimes the brain just freezes there for some reason. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to go, chain 2 is enough for me because we don't need this stitch to be too big. So I did 12. If you're starting, so do a chain of 15, go back, or the size you'd like, really. You know, you can see whatever size you like on here. I don't even know how many. Let me see how many centimeters this waistband has. Hold on. So it's got 2 centimeters, but you can go larger if you like. So if you're doing like me, the 2, then do 15 chain stitch. Go back to the 4th chain, and do your double crochet. And then now we're going to proceed. Let's say you did your 12. double crochets, right? After you do your chain. So you do your 12 double crochets. Now we turn around. Okay, we're turning the pattern around. That's if you're doing all in one direction. I'm going to do one more chain. So with the single and 2 chains, mix the double crochet. Next loop on the back loop only, because we want that elasticy effect. Pulling on my string here so I can hide it at the same time. So we're doing the double crochet. So we need 12 of them in order to have the same size. Try to pull my thread here and then I'll tuck it in at the end. Okay, so grab your back loop back here. And I'm going to do 30 more. So it's really up to you how tight or how loose you like it to be around your waist. This is not exactly on the waist, it's on my hips. I don't like it up to the waist. I like it a little bit lower than the waist. So I usually go up to my hips. Now, when you come to the last one here, it's tricky sometimes when you're doing these double crochets like this, because what happens is the very last one is very hidden, right? So you got to make sure you come really and grab your last one, or you're going to be missing double crochets and it's going to curve in like a curve ball, you know what I'm saying? And that's not good. You're going to be missing and then you're going to wonder where you went wrong. So sometimes it's a little bit tricky back here, but you really have to go all the way to the end. And make sure you count it to make sure you have your 12, because it's very easy to lose a stitch. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Now, like I said, you turn around, turn your work around, okay? And then 1, 2, 3 chain, and then again back loops only. So this waistband is only working, it's only created with back loops in order to get that elasticy effect, okay? And I find this is much easier to just add them on here and continue my waistband, so I don't have like 2 stitches on both sides, you know, to stitch it up. I prefer it this way, but if you're comfortable the other way, then by all means, you know, then you can stitch your both ends. But remembering that you have to, on the last row of your granny square, you will have to add as you go, okay? Also, we'll leave the link for some of you that have not seen the granny square or was notified, or you're just coming into my channel. I will leave the link below on the description box, okay? Again, don't forget you need to get to the last double crochet here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, because this is so tricky to lose one double crochet, and then you're not going to have the same result. And again, you would turn your work 1, 2, and 3, oops, and come back into the next space, next back loops only, and continue your double crochet. Any questions, suggestions, please feel free to either comment here on the description box. I do have my Instagram. You can follow me through there, message me through there also. And also, if you're creating some of my pieces out of my channel, you can send me pictures through there. I usually do videos with my followers' creations out of my channel and put it out there to the world with your name and the country you're from, so people can see your work too, okay? So I love doing that, and I like for people also to recognize your work, you know. So hopefully you will follow me on Instagram and do it by there and send it to me. Okay, so last one here again. So it's a little bit tricky. Just grab the side little chain there, because there isn't really a back chain on that one, right? Because we're going up chain 1, 2, and 3. Doesn't matter if you do it by here or do it from this side. It all totals the same way. Now, because these granny squares were created with double, triple crochet, I have a habit of keep turning my thread here on the needle. And that's not good. You know, you get used to a project for a while and you keep repeating the same stitch, okay? So you do this until the desired length you like. This will be the same thing done for the wrists, So just to let you know, nothing to it. There's no need for me to do a tutorial on that, except when I'm coming to the wrist area, you will see once I have created it and will be applying on. So that you would measure the wrists and how large or how tight you would like this wristband to fit you on the wrists. Okay, so again, you can see clearly that we are missing one there. So because if you keep missing it, it's just going to keep going in and not a good thing. So I'm just going to grab it right here. Okay, so do yours, I'll do mine, and I will have 60 rows for me. It's a full medium to a large. So I don't know, some people's hips are bigger and waists are bigger, even though you could be a medium, but your body shape is different than mine. Some could have a thinner waist and a larger hip area, and some could have a larger waist and a very thin hip area. So measure yours and take it from there, okay? Okay, you guys, so first of all, I made a mistake telling you that I did 30 rows. It's not 30 rows, it's 50 rows, because normally it's 10 rows per square to attach on. So it's 50 in the front and 50 in the back. So I just finished doing my 50. Okay, continued on from my waistband. Now make sure that you have it on properly in order to fix it on to add, I should say, on the proper side. Make sure that they're both on the back side, and you know it's the back side because your square is on the back side. So 50 rows in the front, and I finished doing my 50 for the back. So on my to attach now, I'm just going to come on the first one here, and I'm going to slip stitch. I'm going to grab the back part here and into the back here and slip stitch. I'm going to grab it again, back part here and on the back part here, and slip stitch. And again, the same thing. So nothing to it. If you find it's easier for you to do it just stitching, then by all means you can do that. I'm going to try it this way, and I should be okay. Just saves me time of stitching and finishing up all at once. Make sure that they're even so you don't have, like, you know, a twisted band here. So make sure that your stitches are even on until the last one. You have to make sure that you get the last one in, and because they're so hidden here in the little corner, so you don't have like this little slit. And look how perfect that looks. Okay, so I'm going to cut it and I'm going to tuck it in. Now make sure that you have them in put properly. Now, and look how perfect that looks, because this is the right side. Okay, so, and this stays on the side, so even if it shows any little lump here, which it won't, because it's like as if you did a whole row. So I'm going to make a knot, because I like to knot all my patterns at the end, just to make sure that nothing comes apart. Go through some of the loops and you're good to go. Normally you're supposed to leave a little bit of thread in order to make a couple of knots on it, but I guess I never learned my lesson, you know. So I'll just put it in through some of the loops back here. At least I have a knot in already, just pulling it as much as I can, and try to get another knot here, and I'll be okay. That's why I like to use a smaller hook to get them all tucked in. And you're good to go. Nothing is going to open. And look, it's just perfect. You know, you give it a nice little fix up. Okay, now we're going to add the squares to the back. So got to make sure that this is turned the proper way. And what I'm going to do is, and this is going to be good for you too, once you finish adding the first part of the squares, you're going to come in with the piece of thread. It doesn't matter what color thread. I'll just use this yellow just to show me where I can put them. And I'll just cut like a few pieces here and there just to know where I'm adding my square so it can be even, because you want to put it more or less on the same quantity of skipped stitches or your squares will not match up to the front part. So that's not going to be good. Okay. So you got to make sure of that. So I'm going to put my little ones on here so they can meet up with the same thing on the back part. And then I'll come back to you and tell you what we're going to do. Okay, everyone. So we're going to start off by adding the squares. And for some of you that have markers, it will be much easier for you to mark. I don't have markers, so I use thread. Now, because I already have the front in, I'm creating the back. And each time we're adding the squares, we always have to add onto the same place where we already have the other square. Now, we use 10 rows per square, okay? So 10 rows per square. So that means, and we attach 5 times on it. I'll just show you here. Makes it easier for you guys to understand. So you'd start off anywhere you'd like with a chain 4. Okay, let's say here, start off chain 4, and then you'd continue. You'd attach it with a single, do your chain 4, come back, create your double, triple. We need to attach right away because we don't want a big gap here between the square and the waistband. So we need to attach right before we go into the next group. So we skip 2 spaces, and on the 3rd space, we create again. We do the attachment, create the group. We in the middle with where we have that. You know, normally if it's not attached, it's a 1 chain. When we are attaching, we do no chain because the single that we're attaching, it's equivalent to 1 chain. Again, you'd skip 2 spaces on the 3rd space. Again, you're going to have a total of 10 rows. Now, in order for you not to get mistaken by it, so I'm going to start 1 square up and show you. Okay, so let's say you are doing your first one, let's say here. I think it will be best to explain to you. So I'm going to use this as my marker, okay? Because this is very simple, but it's always, you know, the first row to get something started, it's, you know, a pain on the butt. So you'd start your chain 4 and then attach on here, and then you know, you would finish creating. Actually, it's on this side because we go from this side on, but I need to show you on here. So you're creating your group, you do chain 4, and then you finish creating. Okay, but he will give you the same example. It doesn't change anything. So you have to attach it on the same place, okay? So you do 1, 2 on the 3rd one. So 1, 2 here on the 3rd one. You would place again your marker because you need to attach the the space here. You need to attach here in between them, and then we're going to attach here, and then in between them, and then the corners. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, but because the fifth one is on the same space, it's not counted as, I mean, you're counting 1 on the 2 of them because they're both on the same space, so you're always going to be missing 1. That's why I'm telling you to do it this way. So you'd count 1, 2. On the third one, you put your chain, your thread, your marker, whatever you're using. Okay. I don't have a marker, so I'm going to use this. And then again, you do 1, 2 on the third one. You put the next one in. Now you're supposed to have 10 rows used for 1 square. So that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if we're counting from here, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then 9, and then 10. Okay, and then you do it there. Now, obviously, we're going to add the first one here. So again, if you're counting 1, 2 on the third one, and then 1, 2 on the third one. And then you only need to do this the 5 times, okay? 1, 2 on the third one. The 5, depending up if you're using 5 squares, like in my case it's 5 squares. So I would do it only one side of this, of the 50 rows. I would only do it the one time, because then I have the other ones to follow. All I have to do is just follow where I put them on, right? So this is pretty much what it is to attach them on, you know, because once you have one front or back done, you don't need to, because automatically you can see where you're going to attach it from this pattern already, okay? But this would be like the easiest way to go ahead and fill them in. So I'm just going to get mine started here. Okay, so because I have mine in already, I have no choice but either to start it by here, or I would just turn my pattern around. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I know that my fifth one is here. That means I will take this one out. This is wrong. I need to do the 4 chain. Good God, Maggie, get it together. There's just those days where brain doesn't want nothing. Okay, 4 chains. Sorry about that. Thank God it was already stretched here. So I know I have to bring it onto here where I marked it. Whoops. Good heavens, stop pulling the other thread. Single. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come back. Do your double triple groups. Now we need to attach it because we don't want that gap. Remember what I said? So we'd attach it onto here. So I would pull this one out and single. Go into the next one, create your 2 groups. Double, triple. I keep forgetting and going to a double. I know, it's terrible. Okay, now we're not doing no chain stitch because we are attaching. Each time we attach, we don't need to do it. So now I'm coming into this one here, right? I think this is like the easiest way for you guys. For me, I'm already, oops, and I have to do the 4 chain. I'm already used to it, but you see, even though you're used to it, you have to pay attention because I forgot the 4 chain. 2, 3, and 4. Is it the 4 chain? No, I was right. Good heavens, I'm telling you, it's one of those days where nothing wants to function with Maggie today. I was right. Okay, so we finished doing the 4, double, triple, going in with a single and continue. We have to do our group before we do the 4 chain. The 4 chains are for the corners. I don't know, I must be overexhausted today, and it's hot and it's humid and my brains just don't want to function too well today. Forgive me, people. It's one of those blab days. I'm sure you guys get some of those days too. I hope I'm not the only one, but as a human being, I think you guys get those days too. So don't mind me sometimes, okay? Forgive the human brain. Okay, so now, again, made a mistake, you see? I'm yapping and I forgot. And we have to attach this one too. Like I said, forgive Maggie today. I'm yapping and I'm forgetting. So we need to attach the 5 places because we don't want a big gap between the waistband and the pattern. So now I have to come here again. Just gonna pull this one out. And come and do the corner. Good heavens. I think I probably need, one of those nice Portuguese espressos, which I should be making one any minute now, so I can like snap out of it. So we are in a corner. We need to do the chain, the 4 chain. And of course, you're going to attach it where the other one is, okay? So once you have already your first one in, you don't need to even put any more of the marker there because you have to attach it where it's at, right? And then you just follow through. Normally we work this way, but because I had mine in already, I'm just continuing on. So now we're going to attach your second square once you get to it, but at least you already know what's going on. That's why it's always good to look ahead of the video to see what's going on. So basically back to back in the middle of the groups with group, and then back in. And no, you don't do any chain here because we are attaching. The single with that we're attaching makes already a chain. So we don't need to make a chain. Only when we're not attaching we make the chain. Okay? And my hands keep slipping because my arms are stretched out. Not easy to record, people. Sometimes, people look at it and you think it's just like the snap of a finger, but it's not really at all. Kind of complicated sometimes. Now, for most people that record, when they do make mistakes, they erase and add it and then do the right way. I don't. I just go right through it, show you. I make mistakes too, and how we can correct it. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I think it's the best way that way in order for you guys to learn when you make mistakes, the best way to correct instead of taking the whole pattern down. Okay, so now we come in between the groups of the two squares that are here, let's say, but in your case, you're on your second one. You'd be just attaching into the first square, chain 4 again, and back to finish off the corner. And then, of course, finish off our square off. Okay, so pretty much that's what it is. So I'm going to finish mine off and come back and show you again the next one. Okay, so let's say you have all of your 5 or 6 or 4. I mean, for all I know, you could be a small and have only 4. So you haven't put in. So what you would do is you'd line it up if you don't want to mark everything all the time. So you pretty much line them up like this. And you can pretty much get yours started. Let me get mine started here. So basically you'd have yours in. Now, to the side. So you'd line them up. And you know that your first one is going to make sure your rows are well lined up, because we wouldn't want to pull it any different. So I know it will have to be here. So I'll come here, do my 4 chains, come back to my group, and you can mark it as you go like this, or you can just see it eye to eye. For beginners, I suggest you probably best mark it, because if you're not used to it, it can be a little bit tricky for you. Okay, so now we know that once we've done this one on here, so we know we have to do this one that lines up with this one here. So I know I have to, good heavens, maybe if I can get myself into the right position, right? Okay, and then come back to your group, because we have to keep adding in between groups, right? So it doesn't leave like a big hole gap in between the waistband and the motive. One, sorry, because we're doing the, okay. So I am on here. So I know my next one I'm going to jump to. So I'm going to jump 2, so I know I have to go on my second one here. Come back and do my group. And then I have to add it again. So I have to That's why I say it's best to mark it, because you're marking automatically. Once I put mine in position, I'm used to it. I will get it without markers, but for beginners, it's a little bit complicated if you're not used to, especially. Okay, so this one goes here, so I know 1, 2. So I know that the next one goes here, 1, 2. And then, of course, the last one will be on the corner next to, right on the same space as the other one. So I'm coming right here. Now I know that this last one I don't need to check because I have to put it where the other square is, right? One, two, three. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know it has to go here where the other one is. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Come back and finish it. And pretty much the rest will be the same once you have your first row in for the front or the back. So it's only 5 or 4 or 6 grannies you have to put in. So you just, 5 times into the 10 rows there. So now we are going to add into the granny. So we're pretty much going to the next space to attach to the next granny. So very easy. So you measure the length you like. So back to back into the middle. You measure the wideness you like. You put as many squares as you like. So if this is a medium to an L and there's 5, so that means if you're doing 1X, that will be like 6, 7, depending upon people's waist. Like I said, body are different shapes. So, and into the next one. So very simple, nothing to it. This is a very simple creation. The waistband is very easy to create, and this is easy to put on. You just have to concentrate a bit. Put your markers and everything is easy to go, because sometimes we can get frustrated at certain patterns for not getting it properly. But you know what? There's nothing like, trying and retrying, and until you get it, you don't give up. God knows I don't. I try so much to come up with different techniques and different patterns all the time, and these are my creation, my designs. So, and sometimes it's not easy. I have to take it down so many times in order to get it, because it's not like something I plan on paper, it's just out of my head, and I don't like it, doesn't work out, and then I just continue on until I do like it and it works out. And it takes a lot of patience, but that's part of the art. If you love the art, then you need to have the patience for this. This is one of the best therapies ever, especially people that are depressed, anxiety. This is your best therapy. Seriously, people. So don't ever give up on anything. So because we are not attaching, we're doing 1 chain separation. That's the only time we're doing a 1 chain, when we're not attaching to a pattern. God knows how much crochet has helped me and has helped many others like myself with anxiety, because sometimes my anxiety level is to the extreme. And I have been to the doctors a few times, and my family doctor wanted to prescribe me some anxiety pills. I refused to because I don't want to. I think spiritually I can overcome this anxiety. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And, like most, some people are very severe. They have to be medicated. Nothing wrong with that, to balance it out. But I don't think I'm severe. I'm bad, but not severe. So I think spiritually I can balance it out. And so I refuse to take the pills, But here's my therapy. It becomes all in creating. thank God, you know, like I enjoy it so much, and it gets my mind off a lot of things, and you know, and I love creating these pieces for everyone. Okay, so enough of my blah blah blah, right? I feel like I'm your therapist now, you know. Forgive me, but I'm not by no means any therapist. I'm just talking a little bit about myself and about the crochet world. You have to be patient. So you tuck in, you know, your loose ends. And like I said, best is to mark it, especially beginners that are not used to this type of techniques and stuff. You know, it can get very frustrating and want to give up. And it's so easy to give up on everything in life. You know, anything you do that doesn't seem to jive people, the first thing to do is want to give up. Be a fighter in life and don't give up. Get it until you get it. You know, it makes you the winner. The demon does not have control of you. You have control of you. Okay? So, there it is. And then you do the same thing again to the other ones, okay? And then you attach, when you get to the last one, well, obviously you're going to have only one left. And then you just attach it on. Okay? So, I'm going to finish mine, then come back to you on the second row. Okay, everyone, so I pretty much did my back part, front part, whatever way you want to call it. So I did all the edging. So obviously, if you're doing the one band, then you would do completely the first row if you like. If not, you do, you know, the only 5 if yours is a size medium to large, and then follow the other pattern matching up by laying them or put your markers. Okay, so basically nothing else is different, just attaching. You can start by anywhere you like. I'm just going to start here in the corner where all the attachments meet. No, it has to be right in the center. And do your 4 chain. So you start with your 4 chain, close it in with a single, and then come back and finish your group. Very easy, nothing to it. Go into the next one, and then just do the normal attachment of the square. So again, we want to attach it here on the middle. So back to back always. I have to see how many minutes I have on here already. I might have to go to the next video. Next space again. So just creating the 4 double triple, chain 4, 2, 3, and 4. Single and chain 4 again. Come back. Whoops, almost knocked down my cellular. Next space, create your groups, because this is like the top edge. From this square, of course, we have more to add. one chain because we're not attaching to anywhere. And again, create your group on the same space. Okay, and then of course we're gonna come down and close it in. Next space, we're doing the other corner. Chain 8. And we're not attaching anywhere. You're basically preparing for the other squares to go on and be attached on here. Next space. So we're still on the side here. There's nothing to attach. One chain. And now the next corner, we're going to attach it. Next corner. We're going to create the group and then the 4 chain attach. My thread got all tangled up. Don't you love that? Okay, chain 4. And now we're going to attach it onto here. Chain 4 again, so we attach with single. Finish our corner off. Next space. Do your group of 4 and attach again on the center. Finish off the group. We're pretty much done attaching this granny. So we have the 4 already coming into the corner here on the edge where we started. Oh my goodness, what did I do here? So not grab it properly. Okay, and then you'd follow through again and all the way up the same way. Now, do your 4 row or your 4 rows on your 5th row. I'll come back to you on it because then I'm going to see how I'm going to apply like the shoulder area, the neck area. I don't know yet what I'm going to do to it at this point, as you see as I'm going. But I'm sure it's probably going to be on the next video. So I will check my memory now and come back to you either on this one. If not, I will right here at the end. Stay tuned for the next video. Okay.